ball gets in, another wide open three.
Suns. Pierre Cardin. Suns.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
Welcome, everybody, to the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. I'm your host, Gavin, and we are here with everyone's favourite, and I can't even call him what I normally call him because he's dragged his children into this. Boyd, how are you doing?
Bloody unreal, buddy. How are you?
I'm always better to see your beautiful smiling face on a beautiful Easter Monday in Australia.
The city going down.
Yeah.
Who's going down?
City going down.
I think the Roosters are going
City
down.
going down and up and down, up and down.
Agreed completely. That is probably some of the finest work that's ever happened on the Aussie Suns Fans podcast, to be honest. Jake, how are you doing, my friend? Of course, a regular guest of ours, and we always love having you on, bud.
Thank you for having me back on. I'm hoping this can serve as a little bit of therapy. I had the opportunity to stop by Suns Jam with Matthew Lissy after that great victory against the Denver Nuggets not too many days ago. And I'm really hoping that this is going to help me out because that certainly didn't last very long. As Floyd's child told us, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. That hard hitting analysis is more accurate than we'd ever want to admit.
And to be honest, as I just said before, that is probably the most apt description of this season so far. And we really appreciate Boyd Youngfellow just wrapping everything up. Thanks for coming on, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Guys, I actually I've been leaning on him a lot. Like I can't make sense of this Sun season. I'm like, oi, young fella, what the fuck's going on? And he's just like, it goes up and then it goes down. And you're about right.
He's nailing it at the moment. Nailing it. That's exactly what we're doing. Well, let's before we go in and talk about it goes up and it goes down, let's talk about what is happening this weekend on Saturday. The Phoenix Suns will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we will be catching it live at the Sporting Globe, Chermside, Brisbane, for another Aussie Suns Fans watch party, who are now, the Aussie Suns Fans watch parties are now 1-6. So we've had our victory. We've broken the curse. It's on. Staff and I fixed it for everybody with the watch party on the Gold Coast. We're good to go this weekend, Boydo. It's victory time against the Timberwolves.
Are we counting that as legit? I mean, are you sleeping okay at night counting that one, Gav? Tell me.
I'm sleeping like a baby, Boyd.
You're just taking what you can get now, aren't you? You're just like,
no,
okay,
I'm sleeping like a baby. And the reason why is that Suns fans from different states caught up in a state, watched a game of basketball together, had multiple people that were included in coming in and watching the game with us. And we discussed the game. We discussed the game with others. It was Suns fans in Australia having a party and watching the game together. Therefore, it is an Aussie Suns Fans watch party.
The count. Okay. You sold me. You got me. You got me. All right.
Absolutely. Like it. You're looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, Brizzy, man. Yeah, I don't know if we've got a couple of the usuals because we've done a few up here in Brizzy. Well, two. This will be the second official, right? And then
second official watch party, but we've done a couple in the past as well.
In the past, yeah. So a couple of the regulars from previous watch parties can't make it, but hopefully we get a few extras. Right now, man, I'm just glad to be catching up with some like-minded Suns fans and having a drink with you guys and fucking beating the shit out of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
It's no matter what, we all get together, we get to vent together, we get to be together. This is the same as when Suns fans go to the stadium and we have a win or a loss. We get to be together and enjoy it. Jake, how many Suns fans have you got to hook up with this year so far and watch a game with?
Zero.
Yeah, Jake.
There's not a lot in Iowa. There's not a lot of people in Iowa. So I mean that's one of the reasons. No, I'm looking forward to was it in 2 weekends? I'll be stopping by in Phoenix and joining some of the lads there. Unfortunately, the day I'm going to be 2 days I'm going to be around there. I believe we're off one day, and I think on the road it might be the Kings game. Yeah, it'll be the Kings game on the 12th here in the States. So I will, who knows? Hopefully we'll get together, have some beers, and just kind of talk about this up and down season. This is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Bossy, not advertised doesn't count. Bossy, we advertised Sydney, and we had more people at the Gold Coast one than we did at Sydney. So let's be honest, it certainly does count. And we didn't advertise Perth. Still had more people in Perth than we did in Sydney. So, Bossy, shut your face. We're sick of you.
You know what's funny about that? This has been talked about a lot with sports in the U.S. in general. That for example, when the Miami Heat had LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, they had some initial trouble selling out the arena. Same with the LA Lakers, and obviously Clipper games as well. And it's just the argument usually comes back to there's more things to do in these cities. Whereas like in Salt Lake City, Utah, you go to the game because what else are you going to be doing in Salt Lake City, Utah? So the Packers have a diehard fan base for American football. There's nothing else going on in Green Bay. Like if you go there, it is like the gas stations are selling cheese heads. So like there's some areas that that's just my guess because Sydney's the largest city, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Maybe they're just like, well, we can find other excuses, and Perth is. You don't have a whole lot else going on in Perth besides the Suns fan game.
No, that's true. Especially given that the game started at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and over in Perth it's very, very warm. So they're not very interested in getting out in the morning. They're more afternoon, evening people over there in Perth. So we had a massive turnout of 4 in Perth, which is bigger than what we got in Sydney. So. Anyone who thinks that the Gold Coast doesn't count as a watch party, you're doing it wrong because it clearly does. All right, so shut up, Bossy. Since we last potted, and it's been a couple of weeks because we had my birthday last weekend, which Boyd celebrated as well. We didn't do yesterday because Easter Sunday here. Obviously, we were trying to do the family things, which is what we do, but. Boyd and I got on the messages there today and went, you know what? The kids have all got chocolate eggs. Surely we've got a bit of scope to do a pod today. But since we potted last, we're 4-3. I didn't want to go through the games. I couldn't be asked. I just want to know a general feeling of where you guys feel we are right now with 8 games to go in the season? Where do we fit right now? What do we look like? What is going to happen in this run home? And most importantly, where are we going to finish when these 8 or 9 games are done? Are we in the play-in, or are we sitting in 6th and potentially playing Denver? Let's start with you, Jake.
Well, I mean, so what are we doing right now? We're fucking spiders. I mean, there's 100% what is happening right now.
We shouldn't be fucking spiders, Suns.
We shouldn't be, but I feel like that's exactly what we're doing. And I'm just going to assume I'm using that description correctly because that's what I feel like we're doing. We're trying to fuck spiders. So I'd like for the Suns to stop and wake up. And I think the worst thing I saw recently was it a post-practice interview with Kevin Durant, and he said, "Well, I hope we make the postseason. That'd be fun." And it's like, wow. I mean, I understand. I totally am in agreement that Kevin Durant does not have to be the most vocal, boisterous leader, but we know he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe top 20, maybe even better, greatest player of all time when it's all said and done. You expect more out of that, or at least I expect more. Kind of like I don't know. attention, more focus, more anger. But I mean, it's just never really been this way, I guess. So it's frustrating. The wins that we were kind of putting together were against teams that were missing some of their top players, with the exception, well, actually, even the Nuggets win, they were missing Jamal Murray, which was frustrating. And so, what do I think is going to happen these next 8 games? I think I'm not going to try and go all super negative here, but I think we might do better than I would. Let's see. I don't think it'll be as bad as I fear, but I think it won't be as good as I hope. And that's I think we're going to run into a lot of teams that start to think, okay, our seating's locked. Let's start resting guys. And the Suns are going to sit there and say, we got to stay the heck out of the play-in game if we can. And so I think we'll keep trying to play hard. But I could see some of these guys start to say, it's not worth risking some of these injuries. So what are we going to do in the playoffs? That's what everyone's been telling us, right? This team's built for the playoffs. What does that mean? We're going to find out in 2 short weeks.
Boyd.
Well, Gavin. Well, Jake. I think, in true Boyd form, I think that we win the remaining 8 games. The remaining 8
positive.
Games. And it's going to be brilliant. But let's talk about where we are at now and how it's looking. The people who aren't as glass half full as I am, as far as the win-loss columns go, mate, we're a shit fight. I was looking at some numbers today, and I brought it up a couple of months ago, Gav. I brought up shot selection with the Phoenix Suns and how we were taking a lot of sort of long mid-range shots, and it's really held. It's still the same as of. I mean, I know we took 43s against OKC, and that's good for us. But if you look at the whole fucking the whole pie and you break it up, we're still taking a lot of fucking heavily contested mid-range shots as a staple of our scoring diet. And what's his name? Fucking Daryl Morey with the Houston Rockets. He had that big fucking statistical thing where he's like, get your points at the rim. If it's not a layup, it's a 3-point shot, right? Let's leave that middle ground out. And he went too hard with it, I suppose, but he's fucking right. And you look at the percentage that we're shooting from the mid-range at the rim, the percentage of shots we're taking at them spaces, man, it's really scary to see. I think it's 10 to 16 foot range. I think that's where both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are shooting most of their shots, while they're shooting much, much, much better percentages of the at the 3-point range for KD and at the rim for Book. But and we're taking like I think they're taking about 12% of their shots from at the rim, and it's similar with that's 20 something from deep. But a majority of it, like I said before, we're in this. And I'm waffling a little bit because I'm really, really annoyed about our offensive identity, which has been getting flogged recently. What happened to fucking pick your poison? Okay, if you can't deal with KD, you got to deal with Book or Beal. What happened to that, man? We're not applying ourselves. Our big three are not running plays. It's fallen too often into fucking ISO basketball, and we're just not like there's no second phase play. It's fucking get the ball, dribble around, make a couple of passes. Okay, cool. But there's no real substance to any of our offense right now. And there's no pick your poison, because what we end up doing is we just fucking dribble it into a tough fucking mid-range shot, and then which should be saved for the fourth quarter when you fucking need a bucket, right? In clutch. This is what we're doing quarter 1, 2, 3. It's absolutely fucking nuts. So right now, I think it's our egos getting the best of us with our big three. There's not enough team basketball being played. Leadership is fucked. We've got okay, we had a big thing where fucking Charles Barkley called out Kevin Durant about not being a leader. And we all fucking bit back saying, oh, but look what he's doing with fucking Bol, and look at him talking to people on the fucking bench. That's fine. And KD's having a ripper of a season individually. He's fucking going great guns. And he has been a massive influence on Bol. And I'll give him that. But he's coming out and he's fucking nonchalant and fucking he's not saying, for me, he's not saying the right shit after the fucking games to reporters to instill any fucking hope in me as a fan. If anything, I want to hear more of the Bradley Beal rhetoric than the fucking KD shit right now, because KD sounds like a guy who's just waiting for a fucking reporter to fucking say something that he doesn't like so he can have a go at him and then maybe fucking tweet him later. It's just these guys, they're not fucking concentrating at any of the fucking issues at hand. And if they do it for one game, and then they fuck off back to fucking. And I've just talked about fucking 10 different fucking things, and I haven't really gone into anything properly, and it sort of reflects my state of mind. Fucking the last couple of weeks of watching Suns basketball.
Do you want to bring Charles back in? It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and down.
I don't, and I'm not even kidding. My ranting right now is a reflection of my emotions, and this shit affects me fucking all day, every day. It's a reflection of my emotions that this fucking consistently inconsistent team is putting me through on a day-to-day basis, and man, I am shook. But we're gonna win the next 8 games. We're fucking good. And we good. Hashtag fucking we good. Facsimile, facts, all that sort of shit. But I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think, Gav?
Well, look, this 2 weeks was frustrating as hell, right? Like, it got to a point yesterday where, again, I'm more than happy. Was it yesterday? When did we play OKC? Wasn't yesterday, day before.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to sit there, watch the Suns. Even after a loss, I'll throw on Suns Jam and whatever else and listen to the after-game pods and jump on Twitter and read and laugh about all the negativity. But that OKC game, like, okay, this is where we're at. We've got the most significant game of the season tomorrow. All of my optimism, all of my belief in this team is all bundled in to this Pelicans game tomorrow, because how this team rocks out and shows out tomorrow is going to tell me whether or not they can be competitive come playoffs time.
And we shouldn't be
and
Gav.
That's the cut and dry.
Gav, we shouldn't fucking be in this position. And I think back on my fandom and watching this team ascend since fucking 2019, 2020, right? When at the bubble. And I remember all of our fucking narratives, us fucking local hack fucking potters, us Twitter folk, our fucking keyboard warriors. I think of all of our narratives, right? And first up, it's okay. We've got Book, and he needs help. We need to go out and get someone else. We've got fucking Chris Paul, right? We get Chris Paul, and it's like we're so much better. We make the fucking finals. You know, we've got DA coming along. We've got Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. We've got this fucking young and upcoming squad coming along. And then we fall short in the finals, yeah? And we've overachieved and we've knocked it. And then it's like, okay, rightio. Well, what do we really need? Someone else who can create their own shot. So we go out and get Kevin Durant. And then we go and get fucking Bradley Beal. And then we can't just keep on fucking saying, we need something else. We need something else. We need to go and fucking get something else. We've fucking got it right now. And this is what pisses me off. We've got it right now. And I think we had it before the Bradley Beal trade, just quietly. And take me back and I'll do that trade again. But I'm just saying, so what this is now, this is a culture thing. This is people keep on bagging Vogel for not. And now Vogel Vogel, he took the Lakers to a championship, and he had LeBron James and Anthony Davis and all that sort of shit. So he's sort of riding them coattails a little bit. And he gets this fucking role, and he's a defensive coach. And you hear the PHNX guys.
We'll get to Vogel.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's on the fucking squad. It's on the squad. It's like we can't, as a fan, I can't keep saying, oh well, what we need to do now is we have to go out and get this to add it to fucking 3 of the fucking best players in the NBA over the last fucking 5 to 10 years. In the NBA, 3 of the fucking best. And we've got good role players. What this is, it's a fucking, and we know what this team looks like at its peak. And it's unbeatable. And that's the fucking facts right there. But the problem is that there is a culture within this team. It's a I don't give a fuck culture. It's a fucking it's there's ego. And you can talk about, oh no, they're fucking, they're not egotistical. They're fucking going out there entitled, man. And you can see that shine through on the way they react when another team, and the amount of times we've gotten fucking pantsed by an upstart fucking 2nd or 3rd year player this season. And we've looked fucking stupid. You've got fucking Isaiah Joes and fucking Champagne and fucking Devin Vassell's of the world putting their fucking foot on the throat of the Phoenix Suns and our mega fucking stars and choking us out. Like, they're fucking themselves, man.
Jesus.
They're fucking kidding themselves. They're kidding themselves.
Okay. That was a quality rant, and I'm glad I got to share my opinion until Boyd took over completely.
Sorry, mate.
I don't think anybody really overly disagrees with you, mate. So it's I'm gonna save my rant on this until we do talk about the Frank Vogel piece. So next up, after the last 2 weeks, who's been your player of the last couple of weeks, Boyd? Who's been the best performed over the last couple of weeks within the Suns team that are out on the floor? Who have you been most impressed with?
Well, from a statistical standpoint, it's Kevin Durant. For outplaying their role, I'm going to go with Grayson Allen, despite his fucking 1 from 9 from deep last game. It happens once every blue moon. But yeah, I think he's been exceptional given what we had sort of carved out for him to contribute to this team.
Jake.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Grayson Allen as well. It's just the ability to continue to lead the NBA in 3-point shooting, is just phenomenal. It's fascinating to sit there and see 3 of the, as Boyd points out, 3 of the best players to play in the league in the last 5 or so years, and Grayson Allen, like. I think that's a great point that Boyd makes, because it's not like we're sitting there like, man, nobody's helping this big 3. No, Nurkic will go out there and get you, 20, 30 rebounds on any given night. He's a strong interior defender too. And he actually seems to like to play post offense, which has been a long time weakness for the Suns. And I think, Grayson Allen is a capable defender that just knocks down threes at a tremendous rate most of the time. So I think kind of what I think Boyd was getting at too was just that it's almost frustrating. It's very frustrating in the sense that I feel like other Suns teams, we were able to point out certain things that looked very obvious to us. I'm thinking I don't know what we'll call them yet, the Chris Paul, the titles run Suns. It was, we need somebody else to be able to make their own shot. It can't just be Booker at the end. And we were kind of hoping Mikal was going to develop into that. We knew Paul was kind of on his last legs. We hoped maybe Ayton could. Go back to the 7 seconds or less Suns. Interior defense, Amari couldn't do it all, and he was asked to play the center position against people like a Tim Duncan. We lacked rebounding. He was not a strong rebounder. You can kind of go back through these Suns top teams. This one has so much talent on paper that's what's, I think, the most maddening is just like, okay, what are we missing? And that's what Boyd says. We can't just add one thing, because it's just like we just underperform enough in every single category on any given night that's what's so maddening, is that, yeah, this team takes to the floor. And I thought Booker wanted to show that he had a little bit of that, kind of like he's going to bet his own like guys in the security, like Jordan did in The Last Dance, like throwing quarters against the wall. Like he hates to lose. And I'm not really seeing that right now, the hate to lose aspect from this Suns team. I would have thought that Devin Booker would have looked at it like, oh, you guys are going to rest SGA because he's got a bruise in his leg. We're going to crush you now. And instead it's like, we should beat you. Please roll over. And they're like, no, they get excited to embarrass one of the greatest players of all time in Kevin Durant. They get excited to embarrass all-stars like Booker and Beal. So it doesn't matter if they're missing their top players. They get up for every game because it's fun to beat the Suns right now, even though we are underperforming.
Yes, we'll touch on that a little further shortly too. My best player over the last couple of weeks has been the guy that came back from injury. And Boyd, you mentioned before, brutally honest in his after games. I think that the Suns have looked better with this guy controlling the point or being the number one ball handling option and the playmaker. He certainly looked, from my perspective, to have taken a more proactive role in becoming a facilitator for the team. But Bradley Beal, I think, over the last 2 weeks, take the OKC game out, everything else from there, we were 4-2 over that 2 weeks. The bad feeling has really come off the back of the OKC loss. The 4-2 was pretty solid. The really big thing for me was that the team looked offensively more balanced with Bradley Beal with the ball in his hand. Take the stats away, I don't care what he scored. It's about how the offense has looked. And we've run more plays. There's been less ISO basketball until Beal takes his rest. I just feel like that's been far more positive heading into the playoffs than anything else that we've had. Additionally to that, his defensive assignments, he's been excellent. His output on defense has been absolutely fantastic. Again, take the OKC game out. I thought up until halftime in the OKC game, we did really well. It was after halftime, it was a absolute fucking shambles, and we all know it. But I was, before the OKC game, I was really excited to see this team go into the playoffs with a healthy Bradley Beal controlling and setting up the offense. And I still feel that. But the biggest problem now is that we've all got the OKC game to contend with as well, which means tomorrow's game against the Pelicans is going to be really, really important, because Beal on CJ McCollum, he obviously try to negate the impact that CJ can have on the game. But not only that, he needs to be able to facilitate our offense in that game as well. And that's going to be the interesting part for me, because KD did mention in his press conferences as well over the last couple of weeks that a run like this going into playoffs, it can really, really harden and straighten up this team. And as I said, before the OKC game, I thought I saw glimpses of that. The OKC game threw it all down, absolutely down the toilet. So I want to see how that bounces back in tomorrow's game. And let's be honest, this week's games. We got 3 big games this week, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, I want to touch on, Boyd, your thought about, you talked about the Suns forcing mid-range shots, and we know this team we have very talented mid-range shooters.
Yeah.
But so here I'm going to get a little conspiracy theory for you guys, and I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you think that it could be that the Sun this is the dose of optimism potentially? Are the Suns, quote unquote, holding back to an extent? They shouldn't be, right? But are they holding back to an extent because they're like, you know what, we're going to be making the playoffs, then we can attack the basket. Until then, We have 3 great shooters. Like, we've seen them increase their 3-point attempts in the last few games too, and it's done well. So they've stretched it even more, but they're still not attacking. I feel like they can. I wonder if it's almost okay. Let's see how many teams we can beat just doing jump shots before we go into the playoffs and try and incorporate everything. Because with the amount of time that the big three have missed playing with each other this year, they think, okay, you know what? It looks like we're a lock to make it. Might be playing though, but a lock to make it. And so let's not do anything that's going to pull hammies, roll ankles as much as we can. And you're going to be a lot safer taking
we're still doing that shit too,
jumpers
slightly.
than you are, attacking and drawing fouls.
Mate, I sincerely hope there is a massive I hope there's multiple conspiracy theories that are correct in that vein, in the sense that I hope that we're being really sporadic with the way that we play Thaddeus Young, given what we all think that he can do with this squad. I think that we're holding that back as like, oh, fucking look at this in the playoffs, cunts. I hope that's the fucking case. I hope that these guys are like, yeah, we're just fucking rolling at 50% right now, and we'll turn it on come playing time or fucking playoff time or whatever. I fucking hope, man. And the sad thing is that we've been put in a position where we have to fucking have that frame of thoughts, right? It's just it's really, really sad. But yeah, look, true fans always sort of react like this, I suppose. We all want to blame something. We all want to put the tinfoil hat on. So look, to answer your question, I hope so. I'm not ruling it out completely, but there could be certain elements of the offense that we are holding back for a 7-game series, say, where you want to be able to throw something different out there and not have any tape on it, not have anyone have scouted that. So I hope that there are certain elements of that. But what I really hope is that this whole season hasn't been by design, because I can't fucking sit through too many more of them. If
you can't.
The conspiracy doesn't assume that we did this for the whole season. It's more of a
you can't be running into playoffs with offenses that you haven't trialed. I don't buy it. I don't buy this shit. And I know you've got counterparts as well, Jake, that have said that we're holding people out deliberately to the end of the year to surprise everyone. Nah, bullshit. You need to play games together and you need to gel together. But the problem is that I think guys miss so many games that rather than being engaged when everything's back together and everything's moving, there's a level of flatness in what we do. And there's a gap in what we do at the moment. And that's the frustrating thing for me, which I'll get into a little bit further in about 30 seconds' time. So as long as you two are finished there, let's really delve into that, shall we? I'm going to bring up a topic off the back of an article written by our great friend from Suns Jam, Matthew Lissy, on Bright Side of the Sun, asking whether Frank Vogel has lost the locker room. Now, I'm going to let you guys go first before I fucking lose my shit. But is that the problem right now, Boyd? Because, and you can go all in here, because we've seen Twitter, half of the season people have blamed Vogel for performances. I really want to just get my opinion out there on that as well. But what's your thought? Has Frank Vogel lost this locker room?
How about he never really fucking had him, mate? He never really fucking had him. I don't think any coach has really had KD reeled in since Steve Kerr. I don't think the cast of Brooklyn really had him. He was running his own race there as well. I think he's now. I don't think he's doing it to and it's in a negative type of a way by any means. But I just feel like you could be Frank Vogel in the scrum talking to these guys about, okay, here's what we got to do, here's what we have to do, and I think that Frank Vogel is quite often saying all the right things. I just think that these guys just sort of do it their own way for the most part, and there's a feeling from me that they think they know better than any coaching staff. Kevin Young, what's his name? Fucking take that for data bloke. What's his name? Fucking Fizdale.
David Fizdale.
Yeah. I think he's a great guy for a fucking for a meme, but I don't think that he's instilled anything into this group that they don't already know or think they know, and I think that's half the fucking problem, if I'm being honest. So, has he lost the locker room, Gav? No, I don't think he's ever fully fucking had him, and I think that's a mentality trait that needs to change within them. Three cunts need to get together and fucking say, all right, let's do this do what's best for the team, and let's show unequivocally that we are fucking doing all the right things, X's and O's wise, by coach, and let's get this thing back up and going. But look, I'm not a fucking Vogel defender. I'm not defending Vogel. I'm just saying that I think it's more the playing group's issue rather than Vogel's. Anyway,
Jake.
Yeah, then I will defend Vogel a little bit. I feel like he is an underrated coach. You can say, hey, he won the title with the Lakers because the Lakers, look at the talent that they had. But I still remember those Indiana Pacer teams of the Paul George, Roy Hibbert, a busted up Danny Granger, trying to make things go, and they were competitive. And they were bought in on the defensive end. Roy Hibbert did not have a career post-Pacers. In fact, post-Vogel, he was done. So he found a way to tap into some guys that did not have really much of an impactful career after he had left. So I hope that that's not the case. But I feel like you could be dead on there, Boyd, is that the players just might not have bought into him. What I think is going to be kind of interesting if we look back and 2020 hindsight type this season, if we do come up short, is that as much as we're all really excited initially when the coaching staff was announced, highest paid assistant coach in the league with Kevin Young, NBA title winning Frank Vogel, David Fizdale, NBA coach coming in just to be a backup assistant coach. It sounded really good, but you guys are in business. I mean, it would be kind of uncomfortable if they said, hey, guess what, Gav, we're hiring you to this new job. By the way, the second in command is now we just gave him a huge raise. You didn't pick him, and he's the top highest paid assistant coach in the league, or assistant to whatever your job is, and you're not allowed to fire him. You got to work with him. We didn't give him the job. We're giving it to you. So you kind of have control, but the players all really like him. But they should hopefully respect you. And also we're bringing in a third guy that has NBA experience that other guys might think, well, he's pretty good too. Did we almost maybe shoot ourselves in the foot? We might look back at that and say, did we put too many cooks in the kitchen? Because, when a Phil Jackson, when a Steve Kerr, Ty Lue, who am I thinking? Spoelstra in Miami, I couldn't tell you the assistant coaches that are there. Pop and San Antonio couldn't name the assistants. I've heard of them getting hired elsewhere, but I couldn't tell you who the number 2 or number 3 guys are. It's interesting that some people can tell you who the Suns ones are. Maybe that's a bit of the problem, is that you'll have some people go up to them and say, hey, you don't have to listen to what that coach just told you.
A bit of undermining going on, you reckon?
Well, and I don't even think it doesn't necessarily have to be malicious. It could just be like, hey, I got paid a whole lot of money to be the top assistant. I must be doing something right, so I'm going to keep doing what I do and not necessarily – like Beal talked about this a little bit with the players, right? He said, we all need to look inside ourselves and say, okay, should I play harder on defense? And it seemed like Beal said, yeah, I should. And then the other players were like, okay, he will. But that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be he will. It's if we all commit – we could wreck this league and just break the whole game. Right now, you have to wonder if these guys aren't looking at it like, hey, I've done some stuff already. I'll be just fine. Whether I, and there's always kind of that concern. You see it with some top players sometimes is, should I go out and kind of sacrifice for the team? Like Russell Westbrook will probably never get a significant contract moving forward. And he's still a good player, but he's going to be on lower contracts moving forward. And he was an MVP in this league. So I think there's always that concern that if you start to sacrifice, and maybe it goes for the coaches, I'm not quite sure, but maybe if they're like, you know what, if I kind of just let Vogel say that he's going to run this thing and I say, yep, everything he said is right, then they're going to just say, oh, well, you just do whatever Frank tells you. I don't know if we'd ever want to consider you for another role. It's a theory. Could be wrong. As Barkley would say, I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
Even if, of course, they all fucking love Kevin Young. He let them do whatever the fuck they wanted under Monty, previous seasons. They're going to fucking, keep that guy. Yeah, he's a fucking pushover. He's a daisy. Yeah, give me fucking Kevin. Kevin 07. Fuck yeah. Yeah, no. You just...
Well, you guys feel undermined a little bit, right? Like, I mean, think about it. If you were told, hey, we want you to come in and run this part of your department or run this job, this location, but we've already chosen the number 2. You don't get to choose him, and he's very highly paid and very well liked. Good luck. It's human nature, isn't it, to be like,
not ideal. Yeah.
Why? Then why are you hiring?
He's the boss's nephew. He's the owner's nephew.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. The owner's son showing up late to work. That's okay, I guess. Should have just
hired him in the first place. All right. Now, before I start what I'm going to say here, I am not apologizing for Frank Vogel. Has he made mistakes as the coach of this team? Yes, he has. There was a comment here, not riding the hot hand and blah, 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 blah. Yes, agree. There's times where he makes substitutions and plays certain players where we're left scratching our heads. But there is 3 guys on this team. We're calling them the big 3 that told all of us that they have an absolute killer mindset. These guys live, breathe, sleep basketball. They want to do everything that they can do to win. But they aren't doing that. They don't play the game like that. There is no desperation in what they do at the moment. None. They're playing selfish basketball. They're making selfish decisions. They have spurt moments where we go, holy shit, look how good this team is. But this entire team and this entire roster is built around the output of those 3 players. If they don't provide the output, we are not going to succeed. I've said it before that I believe that this team needs at least one of Grayson, Royce, or EG to have a good game shooting from outside for us to be really competitive in games. Now, you look at the OKC game, all 3 of them were terrible. They didn't shoot the ball well, but we're going to have those games. We are going to have those games for the remainder of the year. Get ready for it. But I can guarantee you tomorrow that one of those 3 guys, or maybe 2, a combo of those 2, will certainly have more output than what they did against OKC. I'm more interested in the killer instinct of those other 3.
Yep.
Because Devin Booker, I'm sorry, you had 5 fouls against OKC. I get it. It was a frustrating game. But you played with 0 killer instinct in that game. 0. And we are used to fucking Armani mode. Someone who goes in. You spent more time running up and fouling people with dumbass fouls because you were frustrated than actually using that mindset that you have when you get frustrated and turning that into Armani mode where you are completely fucking unstoppable. That is what is going to win or lose for the Phoenix Suns this year, is the mindset of those 3 guys. Don't blame Frank Vogel for your mindset. Don't say that Frank Vogel's lost the fucking... Frank Vogel's not out there. He's not the one that's failing to hustle on defense. He's not the one that is running up and fucking fouling people with stupid fouls. He's not the one that is taking ISO contested fucking long jump shots.
Every fucking play, it feels like.
Or trying
Whenever
to
shit gets
cross-court
stagnant,
passes, they get picked off constantly.
lazy cross-court passes. Like, seriously, these are not the things that are causing these losses. Now, I get it, guys. Everybody's going to sit there and go, oh, we've got to play Thad Young more minutes. I see it on Twitter all the time. I get in this fucking argument every single time. It's like bringing everyone that's fucking ranting at the moment, oh, we should play Isaiah Thomas more minutes. No, we fucking shouldn't. There's a reason Isaiah Thomas was on the fucking scrap heap. He's no good.
You
His job,
you didn't see him knock them threes down, right?
his job is to provide advice, and drag this team along off the bench. That is his job. Thad Young. Thad was great 3-4 years ago when we first tried to get him. Now, Thad can add some valuable minutes in some important games. But you know what? We've already seen that Thad can plug in without any playtime whatsoever. So, you know what? Save that old dude and give me him in the playoffs. Not in a fucking useless game now. We're down 30. Why the fuck would you put a 34-year-old Thad Young in? Let the fucking scraps play. It doesn't matter. Thad's not going to bring back the 20-point deficit.
Yeah, I'm not an advocate for throwing him in garbage time in what is a loss for that reason exactly, Gavin. But in saying that, why not implement him when you're striving to get a fucking 6 seed and avoid a play-in? Why not get him in there a little bit early instead of Eubanks? Sometimes,
okay.
Depending on,
so tell me the massive difference between that. Now, I get this, right? I understand this, but tell me the massive difference of output between Eubanks and Thad Young. Eubanks does some dumbass shit. Don't get me wrong.
You've just got
but
a
the
really,
output
really good
is
one
not
right there.
that big difference.
You've got
it's
a
not
really
that big
good
a
one
difference.
Right. Hey, Gavin, Thad Young is much better as a connector for this offense than Drew Eubanks, and it's noticeable because Nurk is great for it too. It's noticeable when Nurk leaves and Eubanks comes in. That fluidity in our offense we almost have to play like a different fucking brand of basketball. And okay, that's all right. It's only spot minutes. But what Thad does is that he both defensively and offensively keeps that fucking offense moving in them fucking in them staggered lineups with more bench than start.
So you think that Thad keeps that offense moving, not the guy that's controlling the basketball at the top of the key?
No, he's not a detractor like fucking Eubanks has been.
Agree? He is a far better offensive. Hold on, far better offensive player.
I'm not saying he's the savior, but he's
certainly not.
He's the lubricant that keeps the offense moving somewhat in the way that we are.
So I can tell you right. I think I could tell you right now why Frank plays Eubanks ahead of that.
Because he costs a second-round pick. And he feels
That is a far better offensive connector. No problem. I'm not going to argue that point. Far better offensive connector. Drew is more of a rim threat, but that is a far better connector. And the offense is probably it is better with that on the floor. But Drew gives us, when he goes to the right spots, a far better defensive rim protector presence than what Thad does.
Rim protection.
And that is why Frank plays Eubanks ahead of that. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. But that's why.
You're right in the sense that, okay, Eubanks is a better rim protector than Thad. But there are spots where Eubanks goes all in and he puts all of his fucking chips in the middle and he goes for the fucking big powerhouse block and he's out of position and it's just a fucking an easy dish to someone else for a layup. So he gets the highlights on defense. He was renowned for similar plays when he played at Portland. what Thaddeus Young does.
I'm not arguing that.
Okay, so you're right.
But he's a better defender
overall,
than Thad.
No, he's not a better defender. I don't think he's a better defender than Thad. Overall, when it comes down to perimeter defense and passing lanes and footwork and knowing defensive schemes, I think Thaddeus Young has Drew Eubanks all stitched up, packed in a suitcase, and fucking out of here next season.
I don't think it's that clear cut, to be honest.
No, I think it is.
But I didn't want to get into the argument about fucking
Thad
Drew
versus
Eubanks
Eubanks,
over
because
Thad Young.
You're right.
Because that's not going to win or lose us the fucking.
That's
playoffs.
That's just annoying little things that we shine light on.
Yeah, which is why everyone jumps on Frank, right?
Yeah,
and I get it. But again, what I wanted to go back to is we've got to stop putting all of this onto Frank and start fucking calling out these big three. Now, these guys are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love Devin Booker, and I don't ever want to talk negative about the dude. But the OKC game showed it. His body language and his mindset in that game. Now, this is the point I finally wanted to get to, though. Has Frank Vogel lost the locker room? Maybe. But guess what? You three are getting paid $150 fucking million per year to not be pissed off about what a coach who is going to basically let you do what you fucking want to do.
That's exactly
and then you're going to turn around and go, oh, no, but we're mad with the coach. We don't really. You're getting $150 fucking million a year. Play the game.
They'll never say that, though. You know, look, that'll never come out publicly that they were mad at Vogel for anything. I don't think.
No, it won't. I don't know that. But do you know the big thing that stands out to me is the difference between Vogel and Monty? And it might go back to what you said earlier, Boyd, where he never really had it. Last year, people would talk about Monty Williams, and those players would go into bat for him in a second. Coach Mont, like, we love Coach Mont, blah, blah. No, I've never heard that once from any of the Suns players. I would love to hear some of our Suns media go into one of those press conferences and go, tell us about what you think about the schemes because they're not working. And see whether they go, listen, we're all in with Frank. We're there. We're supporting him. Because that has not come out once this year. So who's asking the questions? Because we heard it last year with Monty.
I'll get on the phone to Voida. I'll talk to him. Next time he's there and he's got their ear, I'll get him to ask the questions. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
But this is the thing. Have you guys? Am I wrong? Have you guys heard this in press conferences from our players?
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Not once.
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, and you guys kind of talked about this with regard to schemes. What's frustrating is all I've heard from Suns players in the past too is that Kevin Young is some sort of offensive maestro. Which, if you look, if the NBA was played in 3 quarters, Suns would probably be leading the league in wins, win percentage. Unfortunately, they have to play a 4th quarter where we go from like top 3 offense, or one of the top offense probably in the first 3 quarters in the league, to like among the worst. It is a phenomenal drop, and that's not a Frank Vogel decision. That's not a hey, well, shoot, I better. And Thad's going to connect more. To me, Thad Young, just to touch on that real briefly, Thad Young is Dario Saric, our beloved Dario, but maybe without the ability to shoot a 3 because Dario could occasionally hit them. But, great connector, good footwork, could played undersized, could play some decent defense. But what was the big concern when we were playing against the Bucks and other teams? As soon as our center was out, we had no size. And so as soon as DA had to sit down, we had no size. When Nurk goes down, it's the Eubanks show because the guy at least has some size to him. Like Thad is a very smart, productive player for his size too, and he can continue to be useful there. But I do think we do need somebody because certainly we're not going to get a bull at the 5 type situation here, and we can't rely on Kevin Durant at the 5 either.
Nor fucking should we because Bol at the 5 is horrific. It is the worst possible thing that could ever happen.
So I'm open to seeing some more Thad minutes for sure. And I think, honestly, it's just going to be matchup based in the playoffs. Who are they running out there? because I think Drew, I want to give him some credit against the Nuggets. He tried to hold Joker back a little bit, and we didn't have Big Nurk out there, so it really fell to him. So I do think that was good. But yeah, this talk about kind of coaching and which coaches are coming up with what. You're right. I haven't heard as much about that. I also think, though, it's a little bit on Monty's team. It was easy to buy into the Monty-isms because he took a young team with Devin Booker and was impressive with the bubble. And then they got Chris Paul, and Monty's like, I'm going to let him run the show on the court. And so it was easy, then he's just coaching other guys up. DA, play this way. Mikal, you can be great. Cam Johnson, everything. These are all guys now that should already know how to play. There's not a lot of rookies that need to be coached up in this. And now, to me, it's much more of an X's and O's. We haven't seen it, on offense. It falls apart in the fourth. And, there's games where defenses look phenomenal. And there's other ones where it's just like, can you guys not stop somebody from shooting a 3-point shot? And to me, that's almost like rebounding. That's just effort. You have to run at people and, stay on your toes, and you can't just give them free shots. Let them come down and take a contested two. But don't just like, oh, man.
By the way, we've got a whole heap of guys that sit on the bench with 6 fouls. Why aren't we running guys to land under the foot of opposition players like opposition teams do to us?
I thought that's why he brought Grayson. I thought that's why he brought Grayson Allen.
Well, he's too good. He's too good for that now.
I know.
And before we move on, and we will move on now, we've had our rants. Does anyone else miss last quarter Chris Paul now?
Yes.
Oh, the clutch son. That's what we should call him. The clutch son.
Hey, no, but go back to last season. Chris Paul's
just give me that pick and roll.
Chris Paul's always injured. We can't rely on him. We have to rely on this uninjured mob that we had this season.
Just give me a little bit of pick and roll action with Chris Paul taking an elbow jumper for an entire last quarter and hitting fucking 16 shots in a row. Right? You can, and we can get it back next year. Yeah, on
a player coach contract.
I bring him back on a veteran minimum next year. All right, so upcoming games this week. We got the Pelicans tomorrow, 11 a.m. our time. Cleveland Thursday at 1 p.m. and Minnesota Saturday at 12 p.m. up in Brisbane, 1 p.m. here in Melbourne and everywhere else. That's amazing, which will be the watch party. The Pelicans game, gentlemen, this is the most vital game of this season. There is no ifs, buts, or maybes. We drop this, we fall 3 games behind the Pels. We had the Mavs win today. We had the Kings win today. We had the Lakers win today. We had the Rockets win today. Everyone around us won today. We're now in 8th place after the results of today. This game is absolutely vital to the remainder of this season. We have to win the Pelicans game. How do you see this week? 3 games, slate, Boyd.
Give me 3 W's, mate. They're winning out the rest of the season. And it starts with the Pelicans tomorrow with even after all that shit that I said about the egotistical Suns and they're fucking not bought in and all of this sort of shit. We just go out there, guys, and we just we play hard on the defensive end and everything clicks and we just fucking win. That's all. I have to keep contradicting myself here because I'm a fan first, right? Well, we're not the Warriors. We're not the Warriors fucking Warriors Network fucking podcast. Who the fuck they are. So, yeah, now I've got 3 W's, mate. The biggest one coming in the watch party on Saturday. Oh. And you're on mute, and you sound brilliant like that. Absolutely brilliant.
I love that you still haven't predicted a loss. You've been wrong so many times this year. To be honest, I'd like you to actually predict 3 losses so that we can get 3 wins. Jake, how do you see this week?
I'm gonna disappoint, but also give some positivity. So I think it's gonna be 2-1. I think we're gonna drop to the Pels. It's in New Orleans, so an away game. And I just feel like this Suns team. What would be a better way to give false hope and heartbreak, which has been the story of this Suns season? It'd be to lose to the Pels and then go smash the struggling but still highly rated Cleveland Cavaliers and the Minnesota Timberwolves, one of the top teams in the West that do not have Karl Anthony Towns. So I could very easily see a 2-1, lose this one, and then just go out and beat two teams, and we'll say, "Oh, did we figure it out?" We'll see.
I'm with Boyd. We're going 3-0 this week because we have to. We've got no choice but to. Yes, Mr. Lissy, we did just speak about your shit article.
I couldn't believe you wrote that article.
Not about the fact that it was shit, because I actually thought it was a very good article. It was just the trigger point for our rants. It was 3-0. I think this, as I said, to me, tomorrow's game is the most important game of the season. I just went on a rant about the big three. They're going to know it, and if they don't deliver tomorrow, pack our shit up, move on, because I'll be done for the season. There might be no more Aussie Suns Fans podcast if we drop tomorrow, because she might be fucking all over Red Rover. I won't come up to the fucking watch party. It'll be over.
It'll be a good day.
Should we start? You guys, like speaking about the Last Dance doc again, and I don't know. Do you guys watch the whole Devin Booker interview, Big Man in the Three with JJ Redick?
Yeah.
And he definitely gave off those vibes. I'm starting to think that maybe as Suns fans, we could give back to this team by spreading horrible rumors about our opposing teams. That like, hey, I don't know if Booker knows this, and then tag Booker, but like Zion Williamson thinks that like Booker should never have gotten to the All-Star game because it was just like all pity nods and stuff like that. And then just like see if we can't help get it, slide into D-Book's messages and notifications.
Okay, if you're earning $54 million a fucking year and you need that sort of motivation, you're a fucking idiot.
Hey,
pull your finger out, play the fucking game.
Work for Kobe.
The only motivation you should need, Devin Booker, same with you, Kevin Durant, and I think Brad Beal is motivated enough. But the only motivation that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker should need is the fact that people are mouthing off about the fact that this season is a fucking failure. I would stick my flag in the ground right now, kick the shit out of everything that comes up in front of you, and then go, how do you like us now, bitches, when you're fucking parading down the main street past Marley's in fucking Phoenix with the Larry O'Brien trophy? That's the only way to stick it up people's asses.
Hey, I reckon we should start spreading rumors. I love spreading rumors. I'm here for it, Jake.
Boy, Jake and I are tasking you. You now have an action item out of this meeting. It is your job now to spread one rumor per day.
Herb Jones is going to be guarding Booker, likely, right? Yeah? No? Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Probably, yeah.
Someone's going to get out there that Herb Jones thinks that Book has horrible BO or something like that. And Book's going to go fucking nuts and just put. Can you seriously
come up with something better than that? Maybe like Herb Jones. Herb Jones bumped into Kendall Jenner at a fucking boat party in New Orleans, and they went skinny dipping together. That would be a better rumor than who's got bad BO.
See,
because we've all seen Devin Booker. We know that man doesn't stink.
Hey,
but we've also seen him move on from the ladies and then somehow come back too. So I would say what we should do tomorrow is we send out a tweet and we say direct quote from Aussie Suns Fans, because Book's not going to be like, wait a minute, is this a legitimate source or not? Doesn't matter. We'll just say direct quote from Aussie Suns Fans.
He did ask me to take my photo with him. So
that's true. That's true. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't have to
be a
reliable
source.
We just got the quote, which is that Herb Jones thought that the Pelicans were going to win in the playoffs 2 years ago against the Suns because Herb Jones knows that Booker is soft.
Oh,
that kind of stuff that would like somehow get to his people, and like Flex would be like, man, you can't say that to my man. Book and his guys are going to be upset. And PHNX will start spreading it. And then next thing you know, he's just going to be like, I'm sorry, did you say I was soft? He'll be like, I don't know who the Aussie Suns fans are. And he'd be like, I have a picture with them. I know who they are.
Yeah, that's right. Boyd, you've been tasked with that. That is your. You've got an action item. Make sure you deliver. We'll check in next week.
There we go. Let's start the book is soft trend.
Gentlemen, questions without notice. We've got 3 questions that came from Twitter. The first one I'm going to let you guys answer because I hate this and Boyd knows I hate it. So it's going to make me kind of mad. But anyway, how can this team get better next season with aging stars and limited roster flexibility? Now, It's up to you if you want to answer, or do you want me to answer?
Jake, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Let me go first, and then you guys can answer.
I don't want to do it.
We're still playing this fucking season. Who cares about next season? All right, Jake.
It's because we're Suns fans. We're always looking forward to the inevitable. Okay, now that didn't work. No, there's going to be 2 things that happen. One of 2 things: we either win or go very deep, and it looks like we just got to kind of hold things together. And then you massively overinflate resignable contracts. I think we have bird rights to Royce O'Neal and to Grayson Allen. So you inflate their contracts. And, Nasir Little has a contract that's not nothing. And, Nurk, although I don't know how much more of an upgrade you'll be able to get for something like that. But that's how you can do it to try and keep the roster together. If something doesn't work, and I'm thinking by something doesn't work, first round exit, maybe even a second round exit, then you're going to start to look at maybe the big 3 needs to be big 2 plus other type players, I think. But let's not go down that road yet. Let's focus on trying to win. Let's focus on D-Book and soft.
We're still playing this season. D-Book and soft. Boyd.
What we do is we just get the fucking current players to play at the level that we know that they can. And unfortunately, it may be a fucking coaching change. But then again, I wondered to myself, is there any coach in the league that can get these guys fucking bought completely in? I mean, you've got your Pops that you're never going to get. Steve Kerr's you're never going to get. These type of guys, I reckon, could get buy-in. But I don't think there's anyone out there. Ty Lue was our probably best shot if we were ever a fucking chance of him. He was probably the best guy that for this squad. But I think it's coming from internal improvement from what's within. Obviously, we're going to extend these guys, Jake, for inflated contracts to give ourselves more pieces moving forward. But in saying that, there's going to be cooldowns on them moves as well. So they, depending on when they get done, we may not be able to tinker and move said piece on for an upgrade until later on in the season. Who knows? But yeah, I think, it's internal development. Or as we previously have said at the end of each season, we have to go out and get fucking Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal some help. Maybe we need a 4th fucking superstar, boys.
We have one. His name's Grayson Allen.
yeah, you're right. Internal development.
Now, Boyd, questions without notice. The answers are supposed to be quick, fast.
Yeah, I forgot.
Move on.
God.
You have not fucking shut up this entire show. One thing we can do for flexibility next season, now it's in my head because of Jake, sign Chris Paul, veteran minimum contract, bring him back. Boyd, why do we suck?
Why do we suck? Because we're too cool for school, man. We're fucking too good for this shit. Regular season games. We're fucking too cool for school.
Jake.
3 offensive gurus that need to actually know that, you can be the everything on offense when you are the only one. You actually have to be. But now when there's 3 of you, somebody else has to play defense. And if you all 3 can do it, then you'll win a lot more games. So it's an effort thing for me.
We don't suck. We are going to bring all of this home. The Suns are going to bring it all home.
Yes.
We're going to beat New Orleans tomorrow.
Podcast? Where is this?
We are going to spank the fuck out of Zion tomorrow. We're going to kick the shit out of Donovan Mitchell. Then we're going to kick the shit out of Anthony Edwards. 3 in a row. Everybody's going to be fucking just losing their minds. We're going to come out of the next 3 games. We're going to be looking at 5th, 6th place in the West. Then we're going to win a couple more next week. We're going to win 7 of our last 8. We're going to finish 5th or 6th in the West. Then we're going to come into the playoffs. We're going to come up against Denver. We've already fucking destroyed them, idiots.
Denver who?
We're going to sweep them again. Suns in 4 because we can. And then we're just going to fucking roll through everything else. What, OKC? Please. Fucking 12-year-olds. We're going to beat the shit out of them in round 2. Then we're going to come up against who even cares? Whatever the fucking Western Conference Finals are. And then we're going to play against Boston. Seriously. Jason fucking Tatum. Poor man's Devin Booker. Jaylen Brown. Mr. I can't fucking dribble. This is going to be... Oh, wait. They've got Kristaps Porzingis. We don't suck. We're just getting ready to start.
Yeah. Oh, Gavin, I need to hear that from you, mate. I really need to hear that. I'm excited again. I'm not going to... My kids are going to be better off for this. They're not going to be getting punished as much moving forward. I might even lift all their groundings.
I won't strike my child.
All right. Last question. Why can't we quit on this team in spite of the inevitable?
The inevitable? Well, I'm the inevitable winning.
Well,
winning a tip.
Yeah.
The inevitable
I just
winning
told you
title,
we're winning. I just told you we're winning the title. So
Yeah.
it's...
No, because we love the hurt. You know, there's no point. I actually kind of feel bad for the Lakers and Celtics, you know, with all those banners. It must be kind of boring thinking that you're always going to be good. And then when you actually are struggling and you might not actually make the playoffs, Lakers. But no, it's that's why we love it, right? It's, you know, it hurts so good sometimes. I mean, why were we all paying attention to Sun solar panel for a decade while we're like, Dragon Bender is the next Dirk Nowitzki, count on it, and then we'd get like 20 wins in the season and be like, we're going to get a number 1 pick and it's going to be great. You guys don't even know. So it's because we love the hurt a little bit. And because we know there's a lot of us out there now. Thanks to podcasts like this one. You know, we know we're not alone.
We don't know. We don't really know how to be a contending fan base, really. We got no picks now. We're out of our comfort zone as a fucking fan base.
Wait a minute. What if we lost out and then didn't make the playoffs? Our first round pick, we might get the number 1 overall because we have the first this year.
Oh, we don't though.
Don't we? I thought the Nets have next year.
This year.
No, but it isn't. No,
sure
but it's swap. Remember? All of
that. But the swaps are heavily protected. I'm pretty sure.
Swaps are.
Anyway.
No, that is swaps.
Anyway. Okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. Boyd, you didn't answer the question. Why can't we quit on this team?
Well, if you can't quit on this team and you haven't already, it's because you're a real fan. And there's plenty of that are quitting on the team and they're fucking fair weather fucks. And you see all them cunts on Twitter. So yeah, no, because the reason we can't is because we're fucking good cunts. We're good fans. That's why we can't.
So I'll tell you why we can't quit on this team. And I just gave a rant about how we're bringing home the Frank this year. But there's a reason you don't quit on something when you love it. It's because you love it. So you just keep chasing it. No matter how many times it stomps on your heart, throws it in the fucking dirt, spits on it, picks it up, piffs it next door, tells you to go love something else, you still chase it because you fucking love it.
It reminds me of my love for you, Gavin. That's why I keep chasing
This
you.
is right. This is right, boy. This is
like
exactly
shit.
right.
You treat me like shit.
It is. It is.
Guys, blink real fast if your wives are next to you on the other side of these computers, right? Exactly. If you love something, don't let it go. Just keep loving it even harder.
Hold on. Way different, man. Way different. This is the Phoenix Suns, right? This is eternal love. This is different. This is into this is
real love.
This is real love. Not that pretentious.
It's when you get to the pearly gates, you go, excuse me, can you tell me if the Suns game is on here?
Is there any Suns up here? It's Steve Nash. No. Can you introduce me, St. Peter, to Paul Westphal because I love that guy. We go in. it's eternal love. You will always pursue what you love. And it is that simple. That's why you don't give up on this team. And that's why we're bringing home the Frank this year. Now, Cade, absolutely you can. So just as a heads up here, you look confused there, Jake. My NBL team, the Australian Professional League, is the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers, and they just won the NBL Grand Final yesterday. I have a team that won a Grand Final. Go you Jackies!
I said it on a few podcasts. I'm a diehard New Orleans Saints fan for the NFL here in the States, and we've only ever won one Super Bowl. We only ever got to one Super Bowl. And I tell you what, when you win it, the whole rest of the world next to you will be like, oh, hey, happy for your team. But you will feel like you are walking on clouds for several days afterwards, being like, you know what? Drew Eubanks, they kind of didn't think he was going to be able to do it. And then he had that massive block in game 2 of the round 2.
Put him in the Ring of Honor.
Oh, exactly. No, it's
Put
just
him straight
like,
in.
Oh, I remember so many things from that Super Bowl winning season that just like it's immortalized in my brain now. So I'm telling you, Suns fans, when we finally win this year, it's gonna feel like we never even were complaining. We knew the whole time, and that's just because we love them, and we know now when they win that they love us back.
And we will have that feeling, Suns fans. It's coming this year. But boys, I need you both to say, "Go Jack Jumpers."
Oh, go Jack Jumpers.
Go Jackies. I couldn't give a fuck about the NBL, but go Jackies. Jumpers.
Are Jack Jumpers, are they ants? Is that you guys?
They're kind of like an ant. They're actually more like grasshoppery ant type things. Yeah, whatever. All right, gents, we're going to move into Who Am I, because we're doing beautifully with time here, although it's been 2 hours, 2 weeks since we've done this show. So I expected it to go a little bit longer.
All right.
A little bit longer. Yeah, actually it hasn't gone that long for us. We're going to go into Who Am I? And we know that Jake kicks the shit out of Boyd in Who Am I when he's not.
Cunt.
Kicks the absolute living shit out of him. But I've got a special for you guys. So I really want to see some thinking caps on, making sure we do whatever it is that we need. Now, remember, this is Boyd versus Jake versus the chat. If somebody throws a guess in, you are disqualified until the end of the following round, until others have the opportunity to guess. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Set it go.
I was pick 6 in the 1972 NBA draft.
1970 fucking 2.
No Googling for the chat at home.
Yeah.
No Googling. Let's be honest about this. Are you both willing to pass 5 points up?
Yeah, pass it up.
Pass it up.
Wait, so if I guess, so I basically get a free guess, right?
No, if you guess and you get it wrong, you have to wait until Boyd guesses in the next round.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Passing it up. Chat has passed it up as well. I was the 1968 National High School Player of the Year.
Nope.
Passing it up. No one in the chat yet. Chat is passing it up. I was part of 2 of the Phoenix Suns NBA Finals runs.
Oh. Our big man coach. Been around the fucking club for ages. I can't think of his fucking name.
Are you talking about Mark West?
Yes.
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Incorrect. You are now disqualified until the end of the next round. Ooh. Jake, would you like to have a guess at this?
I'll wait.
You have basically a free shot at the next one, unless Boyd doesn't guess at the next one. Then you have to wait for him. But I passed away in 2021 after a fight with brain cancer for 2 points.
I got it.
Paul Westphal?
Correct, Jake. Paul Westphal it is. Take 2 points and whoop Boyd's ass again. And the last clue was my jersey number 44 is retired in the Phoenix Suns Ring of Honor. Paul Westphal it was. Another victory for Jake. And Boyd, it's just getting embarrassing.
We've had
for you
Paul
now.
Westphal before on this.
Oh,
sure.
well, you should have guessed him again.
Yeah, it sounds like a personal problem then.
I even mentioned his name like 1 minute ago.
Shut up. Fuck it.
Hey, Boyd.
I would kill everyone in this room for a drop of sweet beer.
So, Homer, please feel free to tell us anything.
Who do you want to have a beer with?
Mate, I really want to have a beer with Kevin Young, and it's on the heels of all this fucking. I want to obviously find out what offensive schemes he's trying to run, and how frustrated is he when no one fucking listens to him and they just do their own thing. That's all I want to listen to. Kevin Young, have a beer. Let's talk about it. Vent to me, Kevin. Vent to me.
Jake?
I would like to have a beer with Justin from Fanning the Flames, a Phoenix Suns podcast, audio only for the Aussie Suns fans listening, because after defeating Boyd in a record comeback in NBA fantasy this week, the title's coming down to myself versus Justin from Fanning the Flames. So I'd like to get him a little liquored up this week, and I don't think he drinks anymore. That's probably why he's only lost one game, which I believe was to you, Gavin. So if I'm not mistaken. So
I can't believe he got me this week either. I had 281
you got a huge
points.
score
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Yeah, I feel like
281 points would have won every week this year.
Yeah. Well, and as soon as so for those, I know it's not usually always the greatest to be like listen to other people's fantasy results, but Boyd did have Wemby go off for 50 points fantasy wise, and I think my top guy had like 29, maybe it was Halliburton at 30, but everyone else was 20s and teens, and so really it was just basically I had enough okay guys that made up for the two fantastic performances that Boyd had. So it was a strange week for sure.
It was weird as fuck.
And I've got the number one pick coming up next year, too.
Ooh, not bad. We have to find some replacements because we have to find some replacements because some of our Suns Potter friends just did not even have a crack this year, and very, very disappointing. Very disappointing from you all. So I don't want to have a beer with you guys who didn't have a crack. I want to have a beer with. I want to have a beer with them. We know where this is going, Boyd.
Yep.
I want to have a beer with all of the lads up in Brisbane this week at the watch party because we're going to rock out and watch the Suns kick the shit out of the Minnesota Timberwolves as part of my earlier plan and my earlier rant where the Suns are just going to go on an amazing run from here to the NBA title. And all of you are going to scoff and choke on your words, Boyd.
Gav shout. Gav shout. Yes. I can't
Boyd,
wait.
I am not even buying you one single beer. You owe me 8 beers now. 8.
Yeah, you guys will appreciate this. That there's a store in the U.S. called Total Wine and More, which is like a giant warehouse for beer, wine, liquor. They even like teach classes so you can try and like learn more about what you're doing and like make cocktails and all that. I was in one today as I was coming back to my place here in Iowa. And I said, excuse me, do you have any beer from Australia? I've been dying to get, some beer from there. They said, oh, yes, we do. We have Foster's. And I said, do you have anything else? And they go, no, that's the only beer we carry from Australia. So
that's all they have over there. That's all they have.
To this day, I'm pretty sure you guys are still drinking koala piss. Until I get a taste
Foster-
of something that you guys actually have.
Okay, so for our American fans that are tuning in and still on after Boyd took basically, what are we, an hour and 10 minutes of talk time and airtime in this. For any of our American friends that are still in here, Foster's is cat's piss. We don't drink it. It's fucking horrible. Don't buy it. Just trust us. Don't buy it.
It's not sold
Vegemite is
here
way
anymore.
better.
You can't get it in Australia anymore. It's only in the fucking US apparently.
And somebody told me, I think it was the English host that we had on Sun's Planet, said that they don't even make it in Australia.
No.
Anymore.
No, they sold it. They sold it after making all the money off the American advertising. They sold it to a company in the UK or something like that. And they do not even sell it here. You cannot even buy Foster's in a bottle shop here because it's shit.
Hilarious.
And nobody buys it. It is shit.
I kid you not, my very first legal beer, you have to be 21 here in the States. When I went out to go buy my first beer when I was 21 on my birthday, it was a Foster's oil can. And I didn't drink a whole lot
That's
more.
why you drink wine now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fucking soft cock.
It's unnecessary. Australia makes great wine too.
Hey, Jake.
Time for the flog of the week, and trust me, they are ugly, very unattractive. Google their face when you're done here.
Flog of the week. It's going to be Devin Booker. Yeah, he's a flog, total flog, and that's what Herb Jones said. I heard him say it, and that's a direct quote from him. So
yeah, I heard that.
I guess Booker's just not going to be able to do anything about it. So he'll just have to accept that. Fortunate that he's not really ready for primetime. Total flog.
I heard the same comments. By the way, does anyone want to take a stab at Devin Booker's stats the last two games against the Pelicans?
No.
Because you say we're going to win out, I'm going to say he had over 30 points in each game. Okay, one.
No, up.
Oh, up. 35?
40.
45. No.
Okay, we can keep going.
Much, like in both games?
All right, I'm just going to... While I do this, Boyd, who's your flog of the week?
I can't really say Suns perimeter defense. You can't really say that. I don't want to say Jake because he beat me in fantasy and the fucking who am I?
I'm wearing a hat too.
And you're wearing a hat because I'm bigger than that. But what I'm gonna give it to the Suns Jam subreddit stakeout. Every second game when Matthew Lissy turns into slutbag Lissy and gets really, really trashy and tries to seduce me on YouTube. Keeps on breaking successfully, yes. I crescendo tremendously. It's brilliant. I love it. But he keeps on breaking character and it keeps on fucking with my jam, man. It keeps on getting me out of rhythm. Keeps on fucking shit. That's not slutbag Lissy. That's Matthew Lissy. Fuck. Oh shit. Stop. Anyway,
Come on, Lissy.
It's Lissy for breaking character.
Be better.
Yeah, it's a good character, man. It's a really good character.
All right. According to StatMuse, Devin Booker's last game, which was the 19th of January this year against the New Orleans Pelicans, he had 52 points, 4 and 5 in 37 minutes. The game before that, so he must have missed the games injured in 2023 because the game before that was the 17th of December 22. He had 58 points, 6 and 5. His last two games, he has had 110 points. He is averaging 55 points a game against the Pelicans in his last two games.
Wow.
Boy likes some creative cooking. Oh, that's right, because that is kind of where he grew up, right? So he usually brings in his old friends and family to come down for the game.
So, Book, instead of fucking the carry-on and the sooking that you gave us against OKC, it's time for some Armani mode, mate. That's what we're talking about. Time for some Armani mode.
Who's your flog of the week, Gav?
My flog of the week is I've got a couple of really quality type vlogs this week.
Just do the quickest one.
I'm gonna go with Suns Facebook, who
Heard this one before.
completely
I
and
think I've been on
utterly,
that show before.
completely and utterly, someone on Suns, Phoenix Suns Nation or some shit like that, got on and talked about the fact that Devin Booker is a disease to our fucking team and no good because he can't pass and just shoots way too many shots. There's a reason Devin Booker is our best fucking player.
You leave Coach Evan B out of this, sir.
It wasn't Coach Evan B this time.
Love you, Coach.
There's a reason Devin Booker is considered our best player because we want that dude shooting 25 times a game because generally he shoots at 50, 55%. That's a pretty good fucking record. Devin shooting 12 times at 55% ain't that good.
Gav,
do you want to know? Do you want to know what else we've done really poorly this year? Passed the ball way too much and overpassed on offense and turned the fucking shit over. Now, I don't want ISO basketball so much, but I'm telling you right now that I'll back Devin Booker to take those shots every day of the week. So shut the fuck up. Stop with your bullshit. And let's look at the best way this team can play. So,
Gav, that was
Yes,
fucking
Bob.
lazy, man. You can't just pull out fucking Facebook, Suns Facebook. Come on, man. You too
I
often.
can do what I like. Yeah.
You can do whatever you like. You fucking right, you can. But you often bring out, Suns Twitter this or fucking Suns Facebook this. You've done it.
Well, that's where you get your flogs from, you fucking idiot. What was yours
I
again?
want to have the beer with the
Yeah,
upcoming
Yours was so fucking memorable that I've forgotten who it was.
It was Slutbag Lissy, wasn't it?
It was Slutbag Lissy.
And
I
that's
don't care
what
if
you pulled
remember.
out.
I care if Jake remembers. Because Jake is a nice
And
guy.
that's what you pulled out. And speaking about the Brisbane watch party, this weekend, Chermside, Brisbane, make sure you come along. You'll catch up with Boyd. He will probably slut around trying to get free beers all day long because he's never paid for a fucking single thing himself. Come and enjoy if you want to spend some money on Boyd. He really, really likes non-alcoholic beers. Really likes them. So make sure that you get Boyd a non-alcoholic beer. Come along, watch the Suns kick the shit out of the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to love it. We're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy it. Jake, where do we find you? Last comments.
Absolutely. You find me at Fallen Founder on Twitter, and you can find me Saturdays, 11 a.m. Central Time. So that's 9 a.m. Phoenix time. Saturday mornings with the Suns Planet podcast. And the Suns Planet will be visiting the great country of Paraguay.
Paraguay.
And so we're looking forward to speaking a little bit of Spanish, learning a little bit about that country and the Suns fandom that exists there, and hopefully celebrating 3 fantastic wins.
I will say, Jake, props to you and Hamo. Loving the fact that you're doing a tour of the world and bringing guys on from different countries. I think it's a fantastic niche that you guys are filling, and you should be proud of what you're putting out there. Anyone who is listening and watching, make sure you check out Suns Planet. They're doing a great job.
That Patty Burke episode, that was a fun one. Learning a little bit
that
about
was it, yeah.
With the Sun Center
Check out Patty Burke. Go along. Check out Suns Planet, guys. It's good fun. Of course, our mate from down under, Hamo, is part of that. They're bringing in everyone from overseas and different countries pretty much most weeks.
Very large penises.
How many have you got? How many countries have you covered off so far?
It's a good question. So Ireland, England, France, Spain, Chile, Philippines. Of course, the Australians had the takeover episode as well. Uruguay as well. And we'll be hitting Paraguay coming up. We've got leads on
Italy. Italy's coming
I'm
up.
waiting for an
There's a
Italian. And we're either Boyd's gonna have to pose as one and do his best Mario Brothers accent.
Please do not take Boyd on to pretend to be a fucking Italian.
No, it's my cousin Boydolino.
Oh my god.
He's a very rich Italian. Buys me lots of beers. Nice guy, good guy, great guy.
A nice pepperoni. What is wrong with the Suns defense? Huh? Come on, play.
Yeah.
But but it really is. It's a fantastic product from my perspective, mate. That you're getting Suns fans from all over the world. So well done, keep it up. You and Hamo doing a great job. Boyd, where do we find you? Last comments.
At Buds83 on the Twitter, at Fucko, or at Mugguts on a mystery platform. It's not Threads, it's not Instagram, but it's a mystery platform, and I'm conversing with a lot of people under that alias, and no one's really picked up on it. All three of them.
You are.
I am. It's a
Is
really
the
good
link,
platform.
is the
are they
link in
sex
the
bots?
bio?
Check out my links in bio. Oh God, I keep falling for that one. That's fucked.
That's why he's having conversations with him, because he keeps falling for check out the link in bio.
At Buds83, come say hello if you want. Let's wrap this thing up, Gav. Don't tell us where we can find you. No,
Find us at Aussie Suns Fans on Twitter, at Aussie Suns Fans on YouTube, at Aussie Suns Fans podcast on Facebook, Aussie Suns Fans in the groups on Facebook. Come join us. Come enjoy. We have a bit of a laugh. We hang some shit. But you will also find us at the watch party in Brisbane at Chermside on the weekend.
What time's that again? You guys have a watch party coming up, right? What time's that at?
It is
12 o'clock.
Well, no, 11. Be there at 11. The game starts at 12. Boyd, one fucking job and you fucked it up again.
You got a pregame.
And let's be clear. When we do get there, Boyd will not be there to fuck spiders. He'll be after your beers. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
As Chris Paul gets in, another wide open three.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.